Hello, good evening and welcome to Superior Star Wars Show, where today I am going down my personal top 10 lightsaber duels in all of Star Wars. So let's get right to it and run that intro. Okay, well as I just said, this video is my personal opinion, so I should really put like a personal opinion warning up, if I can even do that. But yeah, personal opinions inbound. This video I'll be going over my top 10 Star Wars lightsaber duels. What I will say is that it's only going to be on-screen fights. So anything that's happening in comics or books and that sort of thing will not be on a list. It's literally going to be TV shows, films. I did consider gaming, like segments, like game segments. None of them really cut it for me though, but that's besides the point. So let's get right into it with my honourable mentions. Okay, it's time for the honourable mentions, starting with the Grand Inquisitor versus Kanan Jarrus, alongside Ezra. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker versus Count Dooku. I mean, Anakin lost an arm in it, but still, what a cool fight. Obi-Wan Kenobi alongside Asajj Ventress against Darth Maul and Savage Opress. One of my favourite fights from the Clone Wars that sadly didn't make it. But moving on, you got Darth Sidious versus Mace Windu alongside Kit Fisto, Argon Cola and CC Tin. Probably butchered their names, but still that whole scene's brilliant, especially when Anakin comes in and yeah, you know, episode 3, watch it. And my last honourable mention is Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader in episode 4. Sadly, it's not in my top 10. Really should be, because it's the first ever lightsaber duel we ever had. But it's a bit slow, a bit clunky. I know the sacrifice Obi-Wan makes is amazing, and it is just it's the first ever lightsaber duel. How can I not be on my top 10? But sadly, it isn't. It was a really hard decision to make, trust me. But anyway, let's get into the top 10 lightsaber duels, in my opinion. Let's go. So, my number 10 is General Grievous versus Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith. This fight I really wanted to put higher because it isn't just a lightsaber duel, it's an action scene, in the sense that you've got a bit of a chase bit in it. Let's face it, even Obi-Wan Kenobi had to put out a blaster to kill General Grievous at the end. I know, a bit of a spoiler warning, but if you haven't seen it, why are you watching? But yeah, this whole fight, you get the infamous "hello there" meme, but yeah, you get the whole main bit with the force powers to propel the lightsabers, overwhelming Obi-Wan, and he starts to disarm General Grievous, lightsaber by lightsaber, until he had to retreat. It's just one of them fights. I think this is a well put together scene, and yeah, just great, and a well deserving in my top 10, I think anyway. So let's move on. So at number 9 on my list, I have Obi-Wan Kenobi and Adi Gallia versus Darth Maul and Savage Opress from the Skirmish of Florum from the Clone Wars. And this lightsaber duel is a 2-on-2, which already makes it quite unique. and what's it? Poor Adi Gallia. I'm probably really messing up her name, but Adi, as I'll call her, she ends up basically getting stabbed by Savage Opress's horns, and then when she falls to the ground, he stabs her in the back with a lightsaber. And while Obi-Wan's just watching this happen, it's a very brutal fight while he's having to hold his own against Darth Maul. And then the fight carries on and carries on. This brutal 2-on-1 against Obi-Wan, which is very lucky to survive, really. It's only because you've got the pirates that end up helping him out. But yeah, this is a well-deserved number 9 on the list. It's brutal. It's got a good emotional factor to it, and just the choreography of this fight. I know it's animated, but the choreography of the fight really is something special. Well, going on to number 8, we have Yoda versus Count Dooku from episode 2. And this fight is just after where Count Dooku proper does in Anakin and Obi-Wan. So seeing Yoda walk in, and we're used to seeing this up until this point. We were used to seeing Yoda being a little old man, like laughing, giggling, being a bit of a cripple. Then all of a sudden going, alright, force abilities, bam, bam, bam. They matched each other. Count Dooku calls him out, like, let's go lightsaber on this. And a lot of people see it as silly that Yoda started flipping around and everything. But he used his force abilities to help him move that way, which him being so attuned with the force is actually quite believable if you think about it. Like, this is what we wanted Yoda to be. It was the first time we saw Yoda go like 100%, and seeing Count Dooku finally like do his thing was amazing. So yeah, I think a solid number 8. So at number 7 again, we have Yoda. This time it's Yoda versus Darth Sidious from episode 3. And this fight, everything about I just thought was so cool. You know, just the way Yoda walks in the room, takes out the 2 guards, and he's just like, surprised you are that like I'm still alive. And then they just go at it, don't they? They end up going up into the I suppose it's like the meeting room or the conference room. They start chucking the like scenery at each other. Like, I mean, granted, Sidious probably got the upper hand because Yoda had to retreat. I mean, Yoda probably could have pulled it off, but it's a very even fight. But everything around episode 3, this fight, seeing Yoda, like the Grand Master of the Jedi, against the tip-top Dark Lord of the Sith. What more could you want? It's the big bad versus the greater good, you know? And I think it was shot really well, choreography was brilliant, and yeah, just a great fight, wasn't it? I think solid number 7 on my list. So let's go straight on to number 3. So at number 6, I have Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader from episode 5. And how could this not be on my list? This lightsaber fight is amazing. It's Darth Vader toying with always toying with someone, isn't he? He's toying with someone less experienced than himself, who's only just starting to learn, basically, what the Force is. And he may be toying with him, but he holds no punches. He ends up cutting his hand off, you know. And we get the big reveal that obviously, you know, Obi-Wan never told you about your father. Yeah, he told me you killed him. No, I am your father. You get a massive reveal. And in the end, Luke would rather chuck himself off this platform than succumb to Darth Vader, which he literally just found out was his dad. Like, the emotion is through the roof. Like I said, I remember first seeing this for the first time, and I was like, how could someone's dad treat their son this way, man? Like, and all before that whole reveal, Vader's toying with him, just single hand doing it. He takes one blow to the shoulder, but yeah, this fight is. I wish I could put it higher. I really wish I could, but there's just a couple of others which obviously, which I think are better. But such an amazing duel, love it. So, at my number 5, I have from Rebels, Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Vader. This, when I first watched it, I was like, that's it, this is my most favourite scene ever in all of Star Wars. Because at that point, I was following Ahsoka's story, to the T, you know, and this fight really pulled something special off, in my opinion. You had Ahsoka trying to save her friends, or Darth Vader was just trying to put an end to them all, basically. And by the way, Darth Vader's entrance in this scene, phenomenal. Just the way he's standing on top of this tide fast. It's amazing. But then when these two go at it, it's fast paced, it's all over the place, it's brilliant. And it's the emotion between the ex-Padawan and Master. Them two really had such a connection, and you really feel it in this scene. It's like, I'm not going to leave you behind again. That's not very Jedi-like of you. It's like, I'm no Jedi. It's like, when Vader says to her, like, you will die. This whole scene is brilliant. Seriously, go out and watch it. When I first saw this, it brought a tear to my eye. Because these two were brother and sister. They were so close to each other. And when Ahsoka finally realises that is Anakin under the suit, she's like, I'm not leaving you behind again. The emotions through the roof, great choreography, great end to the series of the Rebels, that was amazing. Anyway, let's move on before I bump this one up a couple of places. So, at my number 4, I have Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader again, this time from episode 6. And this fight, it's the last one in the original trilogy. It's where it all comes to an end. Well, it originally come to an end. No, this fight was really amazing, where Luke hasn't just got to fight Vader, he's got Palpatine in his ear, like trying to make him like succumb to the dark side, and Luke's not having it. He didn't want to kill his father, but at the same time I feel like he thought that he must do what he has to do. If he knew what the outcome was, I don't know. I mean, what the outcome was what the outcome was, but watching the fight, Luke had to do what he had to do, but at the same time, held back when he had to, because he wasn't gonna strike his father down. And the main bit of symbolism, when he cuts Darth Vader's arm off and he realises he's more machine than man, and he looks at his own hand and realises we're the same, like we've both got body parts which are machine. That realisation of that they're more the same than he could ever imagine. Not just being a father and son, but they've been through the same stuff. Really makes it emotionally up there. And be one of my favourite films out of all of the 9 or 12, whatever you want to call it. It's one of my favourite films. It's the last lightsaber fight. It's up there, number 4, solid number 4. Like, this is one of the ones for me. Let's move on. We are at the top 3 of my list now, and at 3rd place, it's the duel at the Siege of Mandalore. As from that, you know what it is. Clone Wars Season 7, Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Maul. This fight is amazing. Not just that it's motion captured by actual real people, and they just go for it. These two proper go for it straight from the get-go. I mean, it's a 2-part fight where they start off in like the kind of chambers of the throne room, and they're going at it, and the back and forth between them verbally is also great. And then it moves on up into the rafters, but Maul's just like, no, end me. You've beaten me. Let me fall to my death. And Ahsoka's like, no, I'm not having it that way. This whole fight was amazing. Like, for choreography alone, I say, where it was motion captured, there's something else about it. Being, even though it's animated, the animation of Season 7 was phenomenal. Not like discredit that. That is amazing. It is an amazing series, Clone Wars, and this is the pinnacle of it. Like, seriously, if you haven't seen it, at least go watch this. It's amazing. Like, when I saw it, I was like, the way they moved, like, and the bit where they communicate with each other, it didn't feel forced. It felt perfect. It was the breathing points within the fight. That's when they spoke to each other. Because a lot of fights, there's the talking in it, and you're like, you're in the middle of a fight, mate. You wouldn't actually be talking at that point. In this fight, you're actually like, okay, this is a breathing point. They've went at it. They've pulled back from each other. All right, time to give them a bit of lip. But yeah, the Siege of Mandalore in general is amazing. That episode's amazing. Season 7 of Clone Wars is amazing, and this lightsaber fight is the best part of it all. It really is amazing. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. Let's move on to my number 2. So, 2nd place, number 2 on my list, we have the Duel of the Fates from Episode 1. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Maul. And this is the first time we saw a lightsaber fight at its max. Like, Darth Maul, let's give it to him. Most agile, most aggressive lightsaber person we've seen at that point. And Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi couldn't hack it. It was the first Sith encounter for like 1,000 years, I believe. So they weren't ready for it. Sadly, Qui-Gon Jinn paid the price. but Obi-Wan managed to overcome Darth Maul. But this whole fight in itself was amazing. You're sitting there in a cinema watching this film. You've never seen a lightsaber fight really before, and other than the originals. And this was just phenomenal. It was faster, more intense. Everything was up to 11. I mean, proper Spinal Tap levels of stuff. If you get that reference, you get that reference. But yeah, seriously. Oh, it was an amazing duel. These two, three, then two, then one. Either way, doesn't matter. The whole fight was great. It was well paced. It had its breathing points. Everything about it's perfect. And when, let's face it, when Darth Maul pulls out the double-bladed lightsaber, we all went, "What the hell? Whoever thought of putting a lightsaber on double ends?" Nah, brilliant, really brilliant. Yeah, a well-deserved number 2. I think it's the first lightsaber fight of that intensity. It's engraved in my mind. I'm sure it is yours. So let's move on to my number 1. So, with first place, number 1, and in my opinion, it's got to be the Duel of Mustafar from Episode 3, Anakin Skywalker versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the fight that all of the Skywalker saga led to. Like, it's brother versus brother, it's master versus apprentice. This fight, the scenery around this fight was amazing. It's visually stunning. Not just the lightsaber, but the scenery around it was visually stunning. The lightsaber choreography, even if there was that weird bit where they both span around for a little bit without hitting each other, which I was a bit like, okay, doesn't matter. But, oh man, from starting that bit where Padme's like, "Let her go, you've turned her against me," and all that, at the beginning of the fight. You had the emotions high, you had Anakin raging, Obi-Wan kind of hoping that he'd come to his senses and realise this is in the wrong, but Anakin was too far gone at that point. They're jumping between these almost certain death to the second it would have killed them, like lava flowing everywhere. This fight is so intense, and I would say it's the main point of all of Star Wars, this fight, because this is the creation of Darth Vader. I know Sid just gave him the title of Darth Vader previously, but this fight was the fall of Anakin Skywalker and the rise of Darth Vader. So, I hope you enjoyed this video of my top 10 lightsaber fights. Sorry if it was a bit mumbly, but I thought this sort of video, let my full opinions out, let my emotions out. You can really tell where I've got choked up on something that was very emotionally connected to me. I hope you saw that. And it'd be really good to hear that what order you put your favourite lightsaber fights, you know, what your favourite lightsaber fight was. But anyway, let's move on. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel, where I do really try to get a video out every week. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.